Welcome back, wild ones. It's another exciting episode of Artists in the Wild. Oh! This episode, I've been stockpiling the footage. I've got some, mainly it's a focus on my creative process with my visual art, which I've recently been trying to lean into more, just making signs and posters and things like that for people. And it's a whole journey, so I'm sharing some of my process, also just kind of what's cooking in the background, literally. And this episode also shows my Easter window displays, which, I have been in this house in Baltimore, at my friend's house, in a historic seaporty part of Baltimore for it'll be a year in July, so not quite a year. But yeah, so I have taken upon myself to start decorating the windows because to me, it's like an art installation opportunity, and there's like a built-in audience because there's lots of foot traffic outside. So it's really fun. And there's a low-grade tradition of window displays in the neighborhood. There are some creative windows around. I'll show a couple of them, but I will hope to tip it over the edge a little bit because, the neighborhood's pretty vibey. There's but it's turned over a lot, and, it was a Polish neighborhood for a very, very, very long time, and they were sort of pushed out, actually. There was a moment in Baltimore's history where they were going to run a highway through here, and they sort of convinced a lot of people to leave. And then there was a big fight over it, and they didn't end up putting, I think it was 83 through here. So the neighborhood was spared, but not before most of the anchors of the community had left and gotten older and things like that. So it's just an interesting time. It's like, it is kind of gentrified, and it's a pain in the ass to park down here and all that stuff because it is so, it's just one of the touristy places in Baltimore that are still preserved. That's really fun because there's like cobblestone streets and a waterfront with some really old taverns and just some great history, and just the vibe is just so great, in some of these places that have some of that old character. So I love that stuff, adding to the visual color, the local color. I really like doing. So I've been enjoying doing these windows. Also, I got that whole project of the windows got kickstarted because a friend of mine was clearing out her work holiday decor and literally gave me this like huge thing of wreaths for like at least 5 or 6 different holidays. And I was like, oh God, okay. I took them from her, and I was like, well, I guess I'm just that lady now who's going to decorate for the holidays. So I'm just leaning into it, y'all. I mean, I kind of love it, but it does take some time. I spent a lot of time on these things, and I barely made it in time for Easter. Honestly, I got it up like just the week of. It's still up now, and I had left up the Valentine's lights, which you'll see. So I had that already in place, which was good. But anyway, so let's just get into it. I'm going to show you what's been going on in my little world. Enjoy. I really do love this goose in the window with its April showers vibes. Little raincoat. I have my own plastic springtime menagerie that you'll see in a minute here. But this is a full-scale model of the street that I was on. Just amazing. Made out of foam core. Super detailed, including the window that we're looking through with the model in the window. The meta levels. So cool. And then a few weeks later, that same goose had a new costume on. Get a load of this cuteness. Okay, so now we're back in the shop making the elfin magic, and I'm gonna paint my lamb planter. I'm gonna give her a little makeover, and also painting these ping pong balls like Easter eggs. Gotta make do. Something round and brightly colored. I think it's gonna work great. I'm gonna paint a basket and make a little honey Easter basket, because there's bees here, and my friend sells the honey. Okay, got them hanging up. The inside of the basket painted. 2 coats on that. 2 coats on the ping pong eggs. And I need one more shade. I'd really like a purple, which I don't have. I gotta be creative, I guess. Displayed to her. Okay, so there's that little bit of a gentle warning. All right, the light's a little making it kind of contrasty. Whoa! But I think it turned out pretty good. Gave this little plastic guy a makeover. It's really old. It was left here in 2010. It was white before. But she needed a little update. Look how sweet she is. Okay, so here's behind the curtain of my little window displays. I had to rig this at a really extreme angle because of the height, and wanted to get the honey in there because I still got my signs from before. Get your honey here. And painted all the ping pong balls. They look pretty good. So I rigged it up. These are pretty handy. I mean, I'm treating this like a little puppet theater kind of. But the height, from the street is considerable. So I always have to tilt things down a little bit. So we got one in the front, or one on the handle here, and then one here. So we've got, uh-oh, didn't think about that. Gonna have to fix that. Okay, and then this one turned out so sweet. Right now I got it on a piano. Kept the moon in there because it matches the yellow, and had to tilt this up a little bit too. Might tilt a little bit more. But yeah, it's looking really cute. Okay, so it's Good Friday, and I love the windows, but I haven't been able to get good video or photos because of the storm windows. And it is getting warmer, and I would really like to be able to see a little and open the windows some, but I gotta get the screens. It's just all the things, because it's like right on the street, and I don't know. Anyway, but I'm gonna try to open the storm windows, and also I needed to put up my own poster. Hello, should be advertising my show. I hope you got tickets. So I'm gonna put this in the window. I got it mounted on a little thing. It was too big to fit inside, but I fit on the outside, and it still helps it a little bit. So I'm gonna try to get these storm windows out. Wish me luck. Okay, that's better. It's much clearer, huh? Very cool. Yeah, also easier to see, but still a lot of reflection, but that looks a little better. Oh, that looks nice. Okay. Feeling pretty good about it. Okay, here it looks at night like this. Read the sign, that's good. Looks good. Tilt a little more. Hey. So I extended the meat pie season a little bit. But I do feel like the chicken pot pie is not what I'm craving, but there's this like ground beef and provolone and broccoli rabe and potato pie, which is also really good cold, and that's why I thought I would like make it for my big meal of the week, you know, to have something. But anyway, that's not why I'm here. I'm here actually to talk about balancing your masculine and your feminine, and one of the little ways that I do it, and kind of exercising both hemispheres of my brain on purpose. I do things like this, which is, you know, when I'm doing something kind of repetitive, I'll make sure to spend some time letting my other hand try. And, you know, sometimes I make a mess and get frustrated, and then my other hand's like, just let me do it. But I always give it a shot, because then also, like, I have an appreciation for what that side's doing so effortlessly, you know? So, and that's, like, how out of balance things are. And it's not just, you know, me. It's, like, the world we've been living in, how we all got so out of whack. But, yeah, getting it back, like, it can sometimes be, like, this simple as just using my least dominant hand and kind of creating new pathways in my brain. And it's like it is what Ian McGilchrist says, you know, that like both hemispheres do everything, but with like a whole different set of priorities. So I just wanted to share that, because it's actually like a really practical thing, and I actually do it all the time. Like, I always try to drive with my left hand, or brush my teeth with my left hand. I'm just always like, I do it reflexively now. So, you know, and I think it has balanced me pretty well. So I'm offering it out there. It's a little spiritual hack. I mean, you guys might not realize this, but I'm a spiritual teacher. I mean, I'm an artist. That's how I do it. Like, I teach by example, mainly. It's like, it hasn't really worked for me to do like courses and this and that. It's like, my life is my art project, and it's always evolving, and there's a lot that goes into it of how I see the world and why I prioritize the expression of that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like spiritual teaching, really. 'Cause it's like, you know, there's some philosophy in there, you guys. I mean, and not intellectual, but just lived. So anyway, we're all still healing. We're all still trying to get these connections back. But I feel something shifted in my connection, like this past year, and definitely just like a little bit more psychic than I've ever felt. And it's weird. And it's been a little awkward, because people don't always, you know, they say one thing while they're thinking another, and then they do something else. So, you know, it's still a little confusing sometimes dealing with people. So you just got to be smart, you know. Anyway, I'll let you know how this turns out. I didn't put as much ground beef. It called for 2 pounds. I didn't have 2 pounds. I just kind of was winging it. So we'll see how it turns out. Doesn't it look good? Here's how good I am with my left hand. Not bad. Making progress, believe it or not. Like, this is where we're headed. Order out of chaos. Okay, finally ready to start working on my show. Desk looks good though, hey? Give you a little tour. Alright. I got post-it notes over here. Now keep in mind, like, this was my friend's desk, so his stuff is kind of over there, but, you know, I'm sort of half taking over, but also organizing and using his stuff. Here we have all the tape, thumbtacks. this old label maker. Staplers, batteries. Okay. This is like art supplies and stuff. Alright. I mean, this side's a little messier, but it's like kind of weird gifty stuff. Ribbons, things to hold things together. This is like all stamps and greeting cards. And then this is kind of like extra. And then up here, pulled out the Rolodex. I'm going to start using this. Just found that and put it on there. And hi. Got that off my dad's dresser. Got that. Yes. I got this for my dad too. Anyway, okay, so we're ready to get to work. Oh, I've been working so hard on this. Oh, it's finally getting somewhere. I'm gonna just kind of share my process and like my work week, how I try to structure my time when there's a lot going on and I'm trying to move towards a show, but I have to make things like bite-sized. You know, I have to constantly be working on it. It's like a thing that comes, it's cultivated. I'll say that. So I have to just show up and, you know, go through, do the things that are required to put on a show. And so, you know, but also life is happening and I'm still working on the house. So I figured I'd just show you, you know, a little bit of what I'm doing. I'm working on a commission right now for a friend and it looks great and I'll share it when it's like in its final destination. But anyway, I've made like, because it's my friend and because I'm trying to figure out, I haven't asked my visual art skills to support me for a very long time. When I first finished college, I had a painting degree and even when I was working at Living Classrooms, they knew I had an art degree. So they were always asking me to make stuff, paint stuff. I did a bunch of murals, stuff like that. But one of the reasons I stopped was because I would put too much into it. I couldn't figure out how to charge people or how to wrangle this creative channel that I had into like a way that would work for me. Because it just takes time to do this stuff. And so I was like, I just kind of like moved away from it, or I can't figure out how to make it like a regular thing without taking more from me. So I just kind of backburnered that all. And also it was overlapping with when I was becoming a performer, a stage performer. So it was easy to just shift to that. Now that I'm, you know, 50, like, you know, it's much more interesting to me to have all of my skills and talents involved in a conversation. And that to me happens through performance. But like I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate my visual art, my writing, which I think is trying to become songs, but I don't know how to play anything yet. And I was, you know, told a few times in life that I wasn't a good singer. So I really believed that for many, many years and just didn't even bother trying. But now I'm trying at least and not afraid of messing it up because I'm just like, screw it. At this point, you can't mess anything up. The only way to mess things up is to not try at all. So I like working up here in the mornings. Like I'll get my coffee and I'll just sit down. I'm going to listen to some music. That's the laptop I saved some of my Rodify playlists on before I left. So I'll just listen, you know, like this playlist, because it just recorded it as one track. So it's like almost 3 hours of music on there. So I'll just sit here, drink my coffee. I always enjoy the Linden tree is filled in outside, which is a funny story about that because this was a Polish neighborhood and I ran into the guy whose brother like lived in this house. His name is Zepe, I think. The guy who had the house. Anyway, and so there's all these like stories about like how the Polish neighborhood was when the church across the street was like in full swing, and they had community centers and rec center, the end of the pier, which is now a bougie hotel, and you know, all the stuff about the neighborhood. It was really cool to hear all that. But so and then I was looking up some about the folklore of linden trees because I love these trees so much. And it said that they were like a Slavic tree, you know, and for protection. And I was like, of course, it's like the Polish people planted them. So like, I was like, that's so perfect. I didn't know that. So that was just kind of a neat thing about the linden trees. And so the light's really beautiful in here in the morning. And then during the golden hour, when it starts coming in the upstairs room, I'll show you that later. That's usually, I like moving my body and working my weird dance moves and stretching and all that stuff, like kind of around 4, between 4 and 6 is usually my sweet spot. Morning, it's like I'm slow to get moving. I feel like the Tin Man in the morning sometimes. So it's good to like have the whole day. But anyway, the risk with that is that then you never get to it if you're busy with something else, you know, because I have to prioritize that again. I mean, it was like being an athlete a little bit to stay in performance shape, you know? And so I haven't been in performance shape for me to enjoy it. And I know that it's not really so much about like what I can do, but how it feels, my recovery time, my ease, you know. It's like, I know my body's getting older and I'm not trying to abuse myself anymore. Like there's a lot of stuff I really bang myself around on, you know, so I am trying to be more gentle, but also like, I like it. I like doing that stuff. And, you know, that's how you stretch to your edges, and that feels good. So I'm going to try to do that, you know? So that'll be the afternoon. Also, side project, I'm still trying to un-IKEA the place. You can see I'm in the office. I was in that bed for a long time before the upstairs room, which, long story long, is so beautiful because the color that I chose for the walls up there is kind of what it looks like when the sun like comes through the linden trees. It's like this really like greenish yellow kind of sunlight quality to it. So I painted the room inspired by these linden trees. I really love them. And the golden hours up there is just spectacular. It's really good in here too. I think I made videos about it. There's like lots of light orbs and stuff like that in the summer. But it's extra special up there. So that's what's going on. It's kind of a house update, you know, a side project update. And then also the show has to be percolating in the background. So I'm trying to just keep the plate spinning thing. Go start this, get this going. Go, 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 go. Okay, so we're on this blog here. This is the name, Lamus Dworsky. And I'm just going to read this about linden trees because it's so cool. It says, linden trees were among the most sacred trees in the Slavic tradition, just as in many other cultures where these trees can be naturally found in the climate. In the old days, in Poland, a linden tree was believed to have strong protective properties and was commonly associated with female aspects of the nature, paired with an oak tree representing the nature's masculine side in the rural traditions. Its natural ability to a quick recovery was praised and symbolized rebirth and fertility. In the protective rites, the linden tree was used primarily to ward off lightnings and to protect from the demons and the harmful dark magic. Their twigs were often burnt to create a protective smoke used in many rural rites, such as the spring blessing of cattle. We're also in Taurus season right now. Many ethnographic interpretations, the linden is being linked to a number of old Slavic goddesses, such as Mokos or Zivana. syncretized over the centuries with the worship of the Holy Mary on the Polish countryside. Symbolically, it was the tree of love and a family life. In many rural regions in the past, there was a prevailing old custom of taking marriage vows under an old linden tree. And there it is. Look how it turned out. Just kind of folded the crust over to, because it was like too big, but I didn't feel like reshaping it, so I cheated. Oh my god, it looks so good. It's like cheese. See all the cheese in there? It's cheddar, actually. And there's Charlie Chaplin movies. Oh, here comes the girl. Oh my god, it looks really good. With a little heart. There you are. Mmm. Look at that. Yeah. We got the little geese. We got the turtles in the background. Got the turtles over there. Pretty cute. Our mallard cruising along. Oh, here's a turtle. Hi, bud. I just wanted to show you, I'm cleaning up some of the paintings, and man, it's just like constant back and forth. It's like I do the black, then I do the white, then I do the gold, black, white, gold, back and forth, but this is probably going to be the least used of the 5 designs that I did. But I was just getting my outlining skills. It's like, this stuff is so tedious, and I like the wonky lines. Like, that's why I do it all by hand. I can clean it up in Photoshop, obviously, when it gets to that stage, but, yeah, it's the real tedious part. So I was kind of getting warmed up on my outlining. So we'll start working on, like, this one's not far, but I might redo the whole thing because I like it, except it looks like the head just looks like a mascot for like a fried chicken place or something. Like, it's like a little round, and my friend is really muscular, so I like the energy of this one, but it's just like so many weird little details in these things. You know, you guys, like, I don't control what comes out, really. It's like channeling. But I did get something done, and I'm reworking the eye on this one. I had to, like, redo it. I whited over the eyelashes, so I'm trying to work on that. So she gave me permission to use those and show you guys, even though the cat's not out of the bag. She hasn't released them yet, but I think she's just not concerned because my channel is so small at the moment. Anyway, I did make this today. Anyway, this is for my channel. It's the boob tube. Anyway, you guys, this is why I always give the analogy of a plate spinning act. It's like, it's just like that, being an artist, especially a visual artist, because half the time you're waiting for paint to dry, and you have to get up and walk away. Like, that's the most important part. It's like you have to have the time to get into the zone, but then you got to walk away before you go too far. And then you got to come back fresh and do the tiny lines. So that's what I did. Anyway, more soon. And this one, kind of hard to see with the glare. Super cute. So cute. Right? It's all coming for full circle. I'm literally eating the last piece of the pie. I had warmed it up for breakfast, and this is what's left. So it was really good, you guys. Do not forget that you can make a trip to Baltimore to steep in the weird waters of my imagination at my very own show coming up Sunday, May 18th at Zen West in Baltimore. They have food. They have a stage. It's going to be great. Tickets are affordable. The time is early. Doors open at 6:30. The show's at 7:30. You could probably even be in bed by 10 if you wanted to. It's a great show. There's no reason not to come. If you really want to just experience something strange, unusual, delightful, juicy, and enticing, then you need to get your little butt there. Merci beaucoup and merci buttercups for watching. This has been Artist in the Wild. I'm Trixie Little. Give this channel some love with a little like, a comment, a share. Let's see if we can grow this thing. I hope you guys are having fun, because I sure am. Till next time.